but permit me to identify most especially also for us here at the EIE, coordinator, in presence of Mr. Stephen Midugu. Round for applause for him, please. We recognize every executive director of organizations, their staff, all partners seated here. We welcome you all. Thank you. Without further ado, having taken too much time before we commenced, we welcome right at this point for the opening remark the person of Mr. Stephen Midugu for the opening remark. Thank you, sir.
The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development, Adamawa State, in person of Dr. Umar Garbapela, partners present in the hall, government partners present in the hall, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today marks a very important day all over the world, talking about International Day for the Protection of Education Against Attack. This day becomes necessary because of the attack on education all over the world.
In Adamawa State, we have a fair location or settlements that are on the floodplain, and we have schools on these floodplains. So flooding is also another natural attack, natural disaster against education. The only thing with that type is that there are others. The only issue with the attacks on education is that there are others that are made. There are some that are man-made, and there are others that are natural. The ones that are man-made are the ones we can deal with decisively. And as a government, today I assure you of our commitment to deal with all the attacks that are man-made.
Persons with disabilities are facing different kind of challenges that is hindering them from performing into school. The issue of attitude of people without disability towards persons with disability is negative. People without disabilities doesn't want to mingle with people with disabilities. They are thinking that our condition is transferable.
Persons with disability, we should be able to encourage inclusion. We should be able to look beyond celebrating International Day to protect education from attack, from conflict, not just from the conflict era, but also we should look at the protection concerns of persons with disability.
As we are all aware, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is the lead agency when it comes to protection sector of safe school in Nigeria. This we have done so well that leads to the establishment of National Safe School Response Coordination Center. This body serves as a coordination body that coordinates our activities, all the stakeholders and other sister security agents that we are working hand in hand. It will interest you to know that our duty as security agent is to provide safety and security to the students, to the teachers, and also the immediate communities that are surrounding these schools.
This government has actually earned the trust of parents. If you look at the number of out-of-school children and the enrollment, pattern these days, you see a tremendous impact. So, in fact, there is a lot that this government has done to show that yes, literacy is our fundamental right, and that it is through education that peace and harmony will be sustained. Thank you.
If we have to talk about sustainable financing of safe school initiative, we cannot talk about that without talking about the national organization and the government. Because the belief is that the international organizations are not really here to stay. Mostly that is the notion we have in the sector. Partly it is true, while partly it's not really exactly. But then, what is sure is that the national organizations and the government is always here.
And accountability is vice versa. And ensure also that the people are effectively communicated so that they will understand what is happening. And we also get their feedbacks. So by so doing, you find that the civil society, especially in Adamawa State, the network is doing a lot. And don't forget that the network is made up of, CSOs, NGOs, FPOs, CBOs. So whatever you think of, we are highly represented. And we actually ensure that as long as the issue of attack or education is concerned, we give our best to ensure that we get the buy-in of the people so that this is effectively controlled.
Now, to complement this incident monitoring tool, so CASFORD has introduced the incident reporting tool. But this time around, we made it to be in form of USSD. As you can see on the screen, is *347*1122#. This can be used on all devices, even with this our little small touchlight phone. We can actually report cases in schools, cases of attack in school through this incident reporting tool.
Moving on, we are calling on Fairway to make their presentation, and I believe it's going to be the last presentation we're taking for this session. Thank you.
In Adamawa State here, under this project, we've built capacity of 15 participating CSOs to be able to support government and other education duty bearers to develop and implement education policies that are gender responsive and inclusive in nature. We are also working with these CSOs to advocate for the reformation of Sangaya system of education, which we often call the Almajiri system of education. And you will all agree with me that it accounts for the majority of the number of out-of-school children we have in Nigeria.
As a government, we've placed priority attention on education. We believe very strongly that education determines the direction, pace, and extent of development of any society. And we've invested heavily in education. Somebody said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. But beyond that, we are also aware of the tremendous pressure on our children and their parents. And that is why our policies and programs have attempted to lift the burden of parents so that economic reasons do not become inhibitors to access to education. And so government invests in infrastructure, in payment of WAEG and NECO fees, in school feeding, in instructional materials, in recruitment of teachers, and so on and so forth. We are determined especially that our children should have access to education. But beyond that, they should also have access to education that is qualitative. So we have issues of access and quality as guiding principles for our programs and policies in the education sector.